Good evening everyone and welcome to Gundam News. And this week we've got a lot of information on upcoming Tamashii Nation stuff, thanks to their recent Gundam Figures live broadcast. But first, a quick word from today's sponsor, Skillshare, the online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for just about everyone. Whether you want to explore new skills, deepen existing passions, or get lost in creativity, you will find something that fits with your needs and your level. There's classes on drawing manga, how to become a better YouTuber, and even just on increasing your productivity in general. Personally, I've been watching Voice Over Masterclass, the official DIY guide to voice acting, presented by Donald Fitzgill Jr. I might not be aiming to become a full-fledged voice actor, but it sure is handy to pick up on some interesting tidbits to help me with my YouTube work. And because Skillshare is tailored towards learning, there are no ads and premium classes are added all of the time, meaning that there is always something new to explore. So click the link in the description down below if you too want to start exploring your creativity today. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to do so will get a 1-month trial of Skillshare for completely free. So, what you can get in September is the Robot Damashii Side MS Zaku 2 F2 Neuen Bitter version anime for 7,150 yen, around 70 US, and for that price they tried to give the machine as much posability as they could, considering the design, because you've got the pipelines in the Zaku, which are somewhat restrictive, and then it also comes with a bunch of accessories. And although not all of them are included in the pictures, we do have a list of all of the things that are included. We get the usual heat hawk and machine gun, but it also comes with spare cartridges in addition to the anti-air cartridge, which is something we don't often see. Rather than the usual drum type magazines that we see with the Zaku machine guns, it is a box type instead. Then we're also getting the leg-mounted triple missile launchers, some grenades, and a very impressive looking smoke effect to attach to the rocket boosters. And then they also show us that this one can be combined with the previously released Kimberite base version to create some of the other Zakus that we also saw in the anime that were hanging around the Kimberite base. Then, alongside the Zaku 2, they also started accepting orders for the Metal Build Strike Gundam Metal Build 10th version for 16,000 yen, around 150 US, and the Metal Build Ale Striker Metal Build 10th version for 8,500 yen, around 80 US. And as you might have guessed from looking at the pictures, these are the same ones as the ones released in 2018 and 2020, with the only difference being the package for the 10th anniversary of the Metal Build series. But don't worry, they also announced some really cool new stuff. Sticking with the Gundam Seed stuff, they announced that the Justice Gundam will be receiving a metal build, as well as some pretty radical redesigns of the Lohengrin launcher and the sniper pack for the Astraea, or more specifically the Astraea Blue Frame, which you can also attach to many of the other metal build Gundam Seed figures. Well, many, I think basically all of them, because that is one thing they did really well: interchangeability. Anyways, the pictures we've gotten so far are pretty small, so I am totally looking forward to seeing the bigger versions. And then finally for Gundam Seed, they also announced the Metal Build Gundam Astraea Red Draconics. But so far, not even a prototype is available, and all we've got to go on so far is this, albeit very cool looking, line art. Then if 00 is more your thing, December is going to be a month to remember with the release of the Metal Build Gundam Astraea Type X Finsternis. And man, is this an amazing looking design. For 24,200 yen, around $240–230, not only are you getting a badass black Astraea, but it also comes with a boatload of accessories that'll keep you occupied for months to come as you try to come up with new combinations and poses to put it in to take pictures of. If you want one, pre-order started on the 28th over at P Bandai. From Iron-Blooded Orphans then, they announced that on August the 6th, pre-orders will be starting for the Metal Robot Damashii Gundam Bael. And despite being a very less is more type of Gundam, it still comes with a fair amount of cool accessories. There are two types of swords to create kind of a foreshortening effect with a bigger type and a smaller type, and also a bunch of effect parts for the swords, the eyes, etc. And of course, it also comes with all of the other hallmarks that we've come to expect from the metal robot Damashii line, like die-cast parts for the inner frame, superb articulation, amazing coloring, and also a price tag to match. 15,400 yen, around 150 US. And then to go along with your Bael, you'll also be able to order the metal robot Damashii Kimahri's Vidal in the future. I'm sure they'll make the best of friends. And then the final two announcements were the Robot Damashii Ghost Gundam and the Robot Damashii Zaku II JC type, also known as the ground type from the 08th MS team. And in fact, even before the broadcast of Gundam Figures Live, Tamashii Nations made a really cool announcement. On the 26th, they announced the Robot Damashii Ground Gundam with some really impressive looking images. Not only does it come with a nice array of accessories like the 180mm cannon and its standard issue machine gun, but it's also got some really good articulation to make some really awesome poses with those accessories. And at 6,600 yen, around 60 US, it's even one of the cheapest robot Damashiis that I've seen lately. If you need some more accessories then, you can get the optional parts set for 3,850 yen, around 35 US, which will be releasing in January, and the Robot Damashii Ground Gundam, by the way, will be releasing in December. So the optional parts set comes with, of course, a bunch of effect parts, diorama pieces, and extra weapons like the rocket bazooka and the missile launcher. And it even comes with a damaged shoulder piece for the ground type Zaku. Definitely a set worth getting for the 08th MS team fan. And the big news this week just doesn't end. On the 26th, pre-orders went live for the high-grade 00 Gundam Zabanya Final Battle version and the Gundam Harute also Final Battle version. As for the Zabanya, it is 2,750 yen, around 25 US, and it now comes with the GN holster bits on the shoulders and the GN rifle bit 2s that can be stored inside of those holster bits. Then the Harute goes for 2,970 yen and has a new leg-mounted booster, a newly molded head, and newly molded GN scissor bits. Then on the same day, reservations also opened for the Maneuver Striker Pack for the Eclipse Gundam. And honestly, when not attached to the Eclipse Gundam, it kinda reminds me of one of those shmup fighter planes. It's quite the interesting looking spiky boy, and at the same time, it makes me wonder how it's going to be to handle it. Especially once you hook it up to the Eclipse Gundam, it's gotta be like handling a porcupine or something. And talking about Gundam Eclipse, the motion comic went live, and it's a pretty damn interesting concept, I gotta say. Now, in case you missed it, I will have a link down below because it's not all that well advertised on the English Gundam.info, in my opinion. It just has a directly translated version of the Japanese Gundam.info article, which says that audiences overseas will get the comic through Gundam.info, and keeps a link to the Japanese website where the Japanese fans will get Gundam Eclipse. Instead, I had to click on the master grade commercial to get to the Gundam Eclipse portion of the Gundam.info website, where I could then finally watch the motion comic. Sunrise, it's stuff like this that shows us that you don't quite care as much about the overseas audience as you would want us to believe. And then the last bit of big news was the message from Jordan Vogt Roberts' YouTube video. If for some reason you are completely out of the loop, this is the man that will be making the second live-action Gundam movie. Or, in his words,
the first proper live-action adaptation.
And the rest of the video also gave me the feeling that he is really a fan of the series. So here's to hoping that the end project will reflect this. I also want to say that it was kind of cool to see like his old gunpla that he showed off in the video. Then in other shorter news, on the 26th, Volume 1 of Gundam Aces, around 30 Office Lady Haman-sama hit store shelves, along with Ramba Rawl's Immoral Rice, Amuro and Me, and Gundam-san Volume 19. I certainly know which one of these I will be getting, and I certainly also know which one I want to look more into. Whatever the case might be, on the 27th, the second commercial of the pachinko game P Fever Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn is available, and also linked down below if you really want to check out the commercial for a pachinko game. On the same day, though, Bonds of the Battlefield 2 has started full operation in arcades across Japan. 22 mobile suits are currently available for play, and you can choose to play one battle for 300 yen, two battles for 500 yen, or you can go for the premium course that will cost you 1,000 yen for two battles, but you will also get a larger reward to upgrade your mobile suits after the battle. On the 29th, Advance of Zeta Reboot introduced Gelgoog III, the Gelgoog successor that is operated by Mars Zeon, and now it is already time to move on to this week's Gundam merchandise. First up, we have the Principality of Zeon Pen Sander, a true necessity for the Zeon Gunpla builder. Pre-order started on July 29th, and it will be shipping in September for a price of 10,890 yen, around $100. They say that you can use it on a variety of things like wood and plastic models in general, but I think we all know what we would use this for if we were to get it. Then, if you're having a hard time keeping up with all of these release dates and pre-order dates, especially in this video, maybe you should consider getting a luxury Char's notebook for 2022. For 4,400 yen, you will get this beautiful deep red notebook with a fancy metal fitting to complete the look. And with both calendar pages and memo pages, it'll help you keep track of your life 3 times better than any average notebook you've got lying around. And if that wasn't enough, it's also filled with information on Char, his mobile suits, and even his actions throughout the 1-year war. So as you are going through the year, you'll also know what Char was up to at that exact moment during the 1-year war. Truly an essential piece for any Char fan out there. Then on the apparel side of things, Gundam is collaborating with Animello Live 2021 to produce some colorful Zeta and F91 t-shirts for 3,500 yen. And for the full lineup of Animello goods, I will also have a link down below. Now, for those unaware of what Animello is, it is the biggest yearly anime song festival that is held every summer. Now, on to the usual apparel. We first have Bankore with their latest G Gundam lineup. And they sure managed to capture the G Gundam spirit with their first item. For 4,180 yen, or around 40 US, you can either get the Darkness Finger or the Sekihaten Kyoken hand cushion. So now you too can carry out your favorite special attack. Other than that, we've got a King of Hearts t-shirt for 3,960 yen, a white Sekihaten Kyoken or black Darkness Finger t-shirt for 3,300 yen, around 30 US, a King of Hearts drawstring bag for 1,980 yen, around 20 US, a King of Hearts acrylic stand for 1,870 yen, a carabiner pouch for 2,090 yen, a muffler towel for 2,750 yen, and finally, a King of Hearts mug for 2,530 yen. All of the pre-orders started on the 29th, and they are currently scheduled to start shipping in September. Then secondly, we've got this week's Cospa lineup consisting of Hathaway's Flash stuff. There is either a black or gray Mafty t-shirt for 3,190 yen and a fancy Mafty tote bag for 8,800 yen, around $80, scheduled for early October with pre-sales opening up in early August at the official Cospa and G-Store online stores. Then there's an Iron-On Mafty patch for 1,100 yen, a Mafty Velcro patch for 1,540 yen, a Federation Iron-On patch for 1,540, and a Federation Velcro patch for 1,980 yen. And all of these items are currently slated for an early November release. And finally, it's the Gundam Café news. From the 29th until September the 2nd, they'll be celebrating the 3rd anniversary of Gundam Battle Operation 2 in their now iconic way of celebrating things, with 9 random fortune latte designs and stickers for you to collect. And you can enjoy these fortune lattes along with the 2 new dishes that appeared on the grand menu of the Tokyo Gundam Café and the Osaka Gundam Square Gundam Café. There is the White Federation curry that is perfect for new types, and the spicy Char's curry that packs 3 times the punch of your usual curry. You can either get them in the restaurant for 1,220 yen, as takeout for 1,188 yen, and as a DIY package for 648 yen. And yes, you heard that correctly, starting this week, the Gundam Café Tokyo has begun offering takeout on select items. Be warned though, they do warn us that some items, such as the curry, will have a different shape when ordered as a takeout. Whether this means that it's simplified or just a completely normal curry instead of a Zaku curry remains to be seen. And then finally, after the success of the 00 Snow Globe, you can now order either a Zaku or Hyakushiki Snow Globe for 2,750 yen. Both are currently slated for a September release, and while I do really like the Hyakushiki one, also from a conceptual point of view, I feel that they did miss an opportunity with the Zaku. If I had to think of any Zaku that would have been appropriate to put into a snow globe, it would have been Bernie's FZ type. But anyways, that has been all for this somewhat delayed Gundam news. So again, a big thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. As always, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters. I hope everyone has a great evening, and I'll see you all next week with more Gundam news.